It is Monday morning. You reach for your favorite pair of blue jeans, the ones that finally fit right after 2 years of honest wear. You pull them on, you bend down to tie your boots, and you hear it, that soft ripping sound right up between the legs in the one spot where no patch ever sits right. And these are good jeans everywhere else. The knees are fine, the seat is fine. But that one worn spot just ended them, so into the rag pile they go, and $40 or $50 goes to the store for a new pair that will do the exact same thing in the exact same spot 2 years from now. My mom, my mother, never once threw away a pair of trousers over that tier. She fixed it at the kitchen table with a needle, a $2 spool of thread, and an empty canning jar from the pantry shelf, and when she was finished, you could not find the mend with your finger. No patch, no sewing machine. About 20 minutes by the oil lamp. Today, I am going to show you her whole method, start to finish, right here on the porch, and stay with me to the end, because whether that mend disappears or sits there like a scar comes down to one thing about the way denim is woven, and I have never once heard anybody mention it. I'm David Yoder. I'm 63 years old. I'm old order Amish, and my family has worked the same Lancaster County soil for better than 200 years. I was raised by my daddy, my grandfather, in these fields, and my wife Katie and I raised 8 children on clothes that were mended long before they were ever replaced. Our son John runs the farm now, so I finally have the time to sit here on the porch and show you how we do things. I mended a pair of trousers for one of my grandsons just last week, so this method is not a memory, it is still working. Now that spot between the legs fails first for a plain reason. It is the only place on the whole pair of pants where fabric rubs against fabric, step after step, thousands of times a day. Add a hot summer, a little sweat, and a few dozen trips through the wash, and the cotton there wears thin long before the rest of the pants even look tired. That part is nobody's fault. It is just what cloth does. The trouble is what folks are told to do about it. The store sells you an iron-on patch for the inside of the jeans, and the glue turns stiff as cardboard, and after 3 or 4 washes it cracks and peels away. Or somebody sews a regular denim patch over the hole, and that seems sensible enough, but a patch has a hard edge. Every step you take, that stiff edge works against the soft, thinning denim around it, like a dull saw drawn back and forth. Inside a month or two, the pants tear again, right along the line of your own repair, and now the hole is bigger than when you started. I have seen it over the fence 100 times. Fancy breaks, simple lasts. The old way is different because the old way does not cover the hole at all. It rebuilds the cloth itself, thread by thread, so there is no patch, no edge, and nothing to chafe between your legs. And hold on to that question about the weave I mentioned, because it is coming, and it is the whole ball game. Now what I am showing you today is one page out of a manual my Katie and I put together called Save $6,000 a Year, the Amish Family Manual. These old methods were never written down anywhere because everybody simply knew them, and somebody ought to write them down before they are gone. So we did. Katie wrote the kitchen, the pantry, the cleaning, and the small everyday habits, and I wrote the heat, the water, the garden, and the household systems, each method laid out step by step with the materials and the dollar amounts in the order a real house runs. It is not a book about becoming Amish. It is a book about keeping more of what you earn, and for some families that can add up to as much as $6,000 a year off the bills. The manual is $17 right now, marked down from $47, which is less than half of one pair of the jeans we are about to save. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, let us get those jeans up on the kitchen table. The first thing is gathering what you need, and all of it fits in one hand. You need one regular hand sewing needle. You need 1 spool of all-purpose polyester thread. You need a small pair of scissors, and you need 1 wide-mouth canning jar, empty, straight off the pantry shelf. The whole kit costs about $2 if you own none of it, and most of that $2 is the thread. Now, the thread color matters, so listen close. Pick a thread 1 shade darker than your jeans. That is 1 shade darker, not lighter. Thread that runs too light jumps out at the eye like chalk on a barn door. Thread a touch darker falls back into the cloth and disappears. My mom kept 3 spools of blue in her sewing basket, and not one of them matched a single pair of trousers in the house exactly, and that was the point. Step 1 is setting the jar. Slide the empty canning jar down inside the pant leg. Work it up until the glass sits directly under the hole. Let the denim drape over the curve of the jar, resting easy, not stretched. Now, there is a Y under this, the way there is a Y under everything the old people did. Your body is not flat, and that spot between the legs is never flat when you wear it. Mend the fabric flat on a table, and you sew tightness into it, and tight cloth tears at its own border the first time you climb a fence. Mend it over a curve, and the repair keeps the natural give of the fabric it lives in. The jar also keeps you from stitching clean through and sewing the leg shut, which I may have done once as a boy, and my mom may have laughed about it for 30 years. Step 2 is cleaning up the hole. Take your scissors and trim away the loose white whiskers and frayed threads around the opening. Cut only what hangs loose. Do not cut into solid denim. Take your time with this. There is no rush at all. You want a tidy opening with honest cloth around it. Step 3 is threading up. Pull off a piece of thread about the length of your arm. Thread the needle and tie a small knot in one end. If your eyes make threading a needle a chore, hold the needle up against something white, like the farmhouse wall, and the eye of the needle shows up plain. Step 4 is the anchor rose, and this is the frame the whole repair hangs on. Start your first stitch a 1/4 inch outside the hole, in solid denim. That is a 1/4 inch into good cloth, not at the ragged edge, because ragged cloth holds a stitch about as well as sand holds a fence post. Run a long, straight stitch clear across the hole. Land it a 1/4 inch into solid denim on the far side. Bring the needle back a hair's width over and run the next stitch back across, alongside the first. Keep laying rows this way, side by side, close together, like Rose in Katie's garden. Cover the whole hole and a little beyond it on every side. When you are done, gather it back up in your mind. Jar under the hole, trimmed edges. Rows of thread laid across, each one anchored a 1/4 inch deep in sound cloth on both ends. What you have now looks like a little harp of thread stretched over that hole. Pluck it gently, and it even hums. And this next part is where most folks who try darning go wrong, because they stop here, and rows alone are not cloth. Step 5 is the weave. Turn your work so you are now stitching crosswise to those anchor rows. Slip the needle over the first thread, then under the second, then over the third, all the way across, like weaving a little basket. At the far side, catch the solid denim a 1/4 inch deep and come back the other way. On the return pass, do the opposite, under where you went over and over where you went under. After each pass, use the side of the needle to nudge that new row snug against the last one. Keep the passes gentle, snug, not tight, because we already talked about what tight cloth does. Row after row, over and under, and something quiet and wonder-bare, that means wonderful, starts happening under your fingers. You are not covering a hole anymore. You are weaving new fabric right into the old, on a loom the size of a jar lid. This is the exact work every pair of pants ever made came from. You are just doing the last 2 square inches of it yourself. Now, remember what I promised you at the start, the one thing about how denim is woven that decides whether this mend vanishes or shows. We are there. Go get any pair of blue jeans and hold them up close to the window light. Look hard at the surface. You will see fine little lines running across the fabric at a slant, all leaning the same way, like rain streaks across a window pane. Denim is not woven square like a bedsheet. It is a twill, which means the threads cross over two and under one, and that stagger builds those tiny diagonal ridges across the whole cloth. Those slanted lines are the secret twice over. First, the eye. When you lay your anchor rows and run your weave leaning along those diagonal lines, instead of square with the seam, every stitch settles down into the grooves between the ridges. The light falls across your thread exactly the way it falls across the cloth, and the mend melts into the fabric. Run your work square across the ridges instead, and every single stitch lies up on top of them, catching the light plain as a scar. Same thread, same hands, same 20 minutes. The direction alone decides it. And second, the wear. Denim gives the most along that slant. That diagonal stretch is the whole reason jeans move with you when you squat down or climb up on a wagon. A mend that leans with the twill stretches right along with every step you take. A square mend fights the fabric, and in a fight between thread and a working man's stride, the stride wins every time. That is why my mom's mends could not be found with a finger, and why they were still holding when the pants finally wore out someplace else entirely. She never explained the twill to me in words. She just turned the trousers to the slant before she started, every single time, and now you know what her hands knew. So there it is, about $2 of thread and 20 minutes at the table against $50 at the store, and that repair will outlast the rest of the pants. That is money that stays in your pocket every year from now on, and there is a whole manual of exactly that. Save $6,000 a year. The Amish Family Manual by me and Katie. Every method written out plain with the materials and the dollar amounts. $17 instead of $47 while it is marked down. Cheaper than one pair of jeans, and it does not wear out. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time, there is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So remember it this way. Jar under the hole, anchor rows a 1/4 inch into good cloth, weave over and under, and always lean the work along those slanted twill lines. Now tell me in the comments, did your mother or your grandmother mend this way too, with her own tricks at the kitchen table? I would surely like to hear them, because those little family ways are exactly the knowledge that gets lost when nobody writes it down. I read every single one. And next time I am going to show you what my daddy rubbed into his leather work boots every fall that kept one pair on his feet for 20 years, and it is sitting in your kitchen right now for about $1. That's how we've always done it, friends. Live plain, live well, and God bless you now.